All right, so it's 5 o'clock, I'm gonna open the meeting. We've got department heads first. Any preference? Chief? No, John usually goes last.
Yeah. There's reason for that.
Oh, what is that reason?
Sure.
Thanks, Chief. This is a nice clean report, I like it.
Alright, good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So from last meeting to this meeting, we had 15 incidents, 5 arrests, 124 citations, 615 calls for service, and state police assisted in 27 calls.
Is that still kind of a normal?
Yeah, it's starting to get colder, so there's a lot less people running around. But we've also been tied up a lot with paperwork and other calls that we've been
Okay.
working on that take multiple people to work on. Can't get into too much detail about them. but-
Correct.
So once those reports get all and done, we also will have more time to go stopping more cars, which will raise the calls for service amount,
Okay, thank you.
or should raise it, I should say.
And state, I should know this by now, state police assistance is just when we're not available?
So they send us a report every month. And it doesn't differentiate, so they could just be calling a car in at the park and ride, but because it's in Canterbury,
Oh,
it may not be somebody calling for help in Canterbury,
right,
it could just be them in Canterbury. We try and differentiate,
got it.
like if it says 93, that's them making a stop on 93, so we don't count that even though it's in Canterbury. But if they happen to stop a car on West Road, we can't tell if somebody called them to come deal with something, or if that's them just going about their patrol and they see something and stop it.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
tough to figure out what they were doing there or if they were called there.
How much does that matter? If there was still a call?
It doesn't really matter, it's just letting the town know that the state was in town, to
Okay.
handle something in town. Like if it was an alarm, yeah, we can tell that was a call that would have came to us had we been on duty at like 2 in the morning. But like there was one day they ran a license plate on a van that was at the park and ride that on Phase 18,
Mm-hmm.
and the plates were stolen.
Oh,
So that was just them.
Yep.
They own the park and ride.
Patrol.
Yeah, so.
oh,
It's in
okay.
Canterbury.
It's kind of trashy looking down there. Any idea what's happening? I see there's a skip down there too, or?
Yeah, there's a dumpster down there. I don't know. That's state police jurisdiction. I can look into it and find out why they put it. Maybe they're hoping people will throw trash in there instead of on the ground.
That's what I was wondering. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks terrible down there.
Yeah, but it looks better than trash being all over the ground, but.
No, I mean, the trash on the
Yeah.
ground looks terrible.
Yeah,
The other place that's getting dirty, or trashed up, is down on Hall Road, down towards the end of it there. There's a lot of bags.
down by past the, storage facility.
I don't know.
I mean, we can go down there, most likely all that's happening after hours, but we can patrol it. And, Friday night, we got somebody on until 1 o'clock in the morning, but we can check on it. Who owns that property down there? Is that a town property or is that?
No.
No.
No, it's privately owned.
I don't think I realized that the state police were, did you say own the park and rides? or
So, park and rides are state jurisdiction.
they- Okay,
It's kind of like the highways, it's state
Yeah.
jurisdiction, but Canterbury can go there, like we monitor it, so if we see a car there that's been there for a few days, we'll call state, see if they've checked on it.
Hmm.
Technically, we can have it towed out as abandoned property, I think it's up for 7 days.
okay. Was there any incidents with all the stuff going on at the corner of Carter Hill, or did that go okay? I know the police have been going by, but then they have the big, they're emptying the house and stuff, and that there were traffic concerns. Were there any incidents? Or was
Nothing
that
with
okay?
traffic was fine.
Oh, good,
We didn't
okay,
get any
good,
complaints about the traffic, I think everyone was just happy it was getting.
okay.
You can see the house again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to,
Yeah.
nice to go by.
And have patrols, continued over by Shakerville, I always call it Shakerville, Sherman Forest, whenever they happen to be
Yes.
out that way. Good. Yeah, they,
No, we haven't any calls come in, complaints.
Oh.
lately.
Good.
So I'm assuming the patrols have been helping.
You're working tomorrow?
I would be.
All right, I'll give you a call at some point. The Tricentennial Committee met Friday night and one of the things we discussed were the Tricentennial badges for the police department. So I'll give you a call and we'll figure out how to move forward.
Okay. I do have, John from Cybertron coming in late morning.
I'll text you first. We'll just, we'll make sure. I think I'm meeting up tomorrow morning until probably midday, so at some point when I get free, I'll text him if you're available, great. If not, we'll hook up at some point.
Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so, everybody get along, everything good?
Yeah, it's all great.
Thanks, Chief.
Great,
Appreciate your time.
thank you.
Good night.
Sam? Good evening.
Good evening.
Unpaid receivables list. We had Hannon's refinance, and so all their taxes got paid. So that's
Nice.
all done for now.
We're down to 68,000?
That's amazing.
What is it, what has it been up to,
Oh,
that's a good number,
that's a really number.
Yeah.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Great,
There's nobody on this list that is alarming or out of the ordinary that I haven't already talked to. So everybody is aware that they're overdue taxes and
Yeah.
that's up to them.
Sam or Ken, on the back page, Shaker Village, I see them listed twice. What's that for?
That's for the 2 tax bills that are still outstanding for Shaker Village.
So I think the paperwork just doesn't want to. The selectmen dated those,
Okay,
so we
Yeah,
just have
so-
to do the paperwork on that.
okay.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I asked. It just hasn't reached you yet.
No.
That's all. Okay.
Otherwise things are quiet.
that's good,
It's always good.
alright.
Is Beulah Fellowship from before, or
That's from July's bill too.
didn't they fill out paperwork saying that they were a church, or is that not?
We didn't accept the bid, I don't believe, correct?
Okay.
I don't.
Since it was abandoned and.
Correct.
They've been notified that was not, that paperwork was filed late and it wasn't accurate, and they were notified. And they haven't responded.
Anything else? No.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
I did have a question,
You have a
did we get our cage for the,
No, it's supposed to be delivered today, is what I have on
Yeah.
my calendar and hasn't been delivered yet.
oh jeez, okay.
So it's somewhere in transit between, I don't know, Georgia and here.
All right, it's en route,
Hopefully.
okay,
Thank you.
great, thanks.
Fire department?
Fire chief is not gonna be here tonight, his report is in with your paperwork.
Done?
No, I haven't gotten there yet. Okay, minutes. Is this it? Oh,
It says Canterbury Fire.
I know, I'm getting there, it's stuck behind, got it. Alright,
So is this the culvert project down on Harmony Lane?
Harvey?
Is this the culvert project?
Yes.
How's it coming? I haven't been down to look.
I haven't looked either. I haven't.
should be almost done by now, right? Weren't they trying to figure out the
They're supposed to finish it this month, in November.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's been in touch with the group down there that's doing it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna notify him of closures, and then he notifies the surrounding towns.
Probably gonna get a lot more difficult as it gets colder down there,
Yeah.
You think? If it is getting warm,
Well, eventually it will.
I don't care if it gets cold, just let's get some rain. Yeah, brush fire season, so they haven't had any.
No, we've been lucky.
Well, yeah, because with the big red flags out and the alerts and the.
Yeah. But I also like to think it's because people are taking heed of those
Yes.
regs
Yeah, I
and
hope
not
so.
burning, outside.
I thought it was great that Herb put a big notice on the Facebook page
Yeah.
and made that really big.
Yep.
Um,
Definitely helpful, I think.
That's been really good.
Yeah. All right,
And
John?
smoke detector. Oh, one potential new member, wait, 1 second. So are we down, when it says membership, are those are part of our per diem force? It says a tenured member resigned,
Correct.
does that leave us, do we need to fill that rapidly or?
No, but we always need volunteers, always. There will never come a day where anyone will sit here and tell you we don't.
Okay,
right? Sounds like everything I hear.
yeah, need warm bodies.
There's no replacement for.
Can we say that online? We need people to volunteer for the fire department.
Yes, we do.
Anybody out there listening? Okay. Perfect, thank
All
you.
right,
I'm all set.
John?
All right, so you mentioned colder, so we might as well start with that.
There you go.
We had our plow truck, hired truck, sign a contract, so there'll be 4 of us this winter.
4 out of the 5 routes, right?
4 handling the 5 routes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That's the idea.
Yeah,
Still working on repairs. Pike is all done with their paving. GMI paved the apron on Old Schoolhouse.
Yeah,
So paving is done. I just need to back up the shoulders and associated work and stripe the library
Yeah.
at some point. So we still need a few more warm days. Don't wish for too much cold yet.
yeah,
Feels like it ought to be here already.
sure.
The dump is still trying to ship their cardboard and stuff. There's no market, no place for it to go. So we're waiting. David Bowles called me on Friday, said the oil was all cleaned out. Somebody came and picked it all up. So I guess we're back in the oil business.
Okay.
yeah,
If you
great.
have your blessing for that.
John, before we accept used motor oil, are we checking to make sure that it's motor oil and not some other substance?
I'm hoping
Oh,
it's
is that the Oh,
because only David is allowed to put it in the tank.
Okay. Can we make sure
That's
it's checking?
locked.
Yeah, I have noticed that, but I think the last time we had to pay it was a considerable expense.
It was because we had a low flash point, too much gas.
Probably gas or
Yeah.
something else was put in.
And that may be part of the dump crew as the lawnmowers come in, they have gas and stuff for that.
so that tank should be just for oil, not gas.
Just oil, just waste oil.
Yeah.
Not antifreeze, not water,
Not anything, just oil.
any contamination. Clean Harbors has a list when they go pick it up of the flash point levels.
Oh.
And if it's above a certain flash point, then it costs more to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
Last time it cost almost $4,000.
Yes.
What do you got?
Exactly.
We have, we've been fortunate that we found a local contractor that has a waste oil burner and will take it. We did get a quote from Northeast Regional Resources, and it would be about $2,000, a little less than $2,000 to pump out the tank
Yeah,
for a regular vendor.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So the person that's gonna be using it as a fuel is gonna come when we call,
correct.
is gonna be responsible for,
Transportation and
what about?
pumping it out and transportation.
Oh, everything, great.
Okay. How do we prevent spills, I guess is,
So what they're gonna do is, it's gonna be pumped out when our staff is up there.
okay,
So hopefully they will make sure that it's being done and watched appropriately.
yeah.
And that's all we can do.
John, do they keep any pigs on hand in case of spills up there?
There's Speedy Dry and,
But no, you know what a pig is?
that's the, claw
Correct.
tube.
Yeah.
Various, I believe they have a spill kit.
Okay.
It's
I'll make
just
a
to the
note
right
of
of
it.
the
That's
backer.
Yeah, that should definitely be a concern of ours, especially with the potential.
But if whoever this is who's picking it up and using it and transporting is licensed to do that, has got to carry the insurance in case he spills
I-
everything, right?
Would hope so, yes. I mean, we haven't checked his insurance or anything, but I would guess, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's not just somebody off the street, it's a company, so,
It's a company, it is a company.
okay.
Yep.
All right, that's good to know. And so, in part, I didn't look yet to see what you put in the newsletter. Did you put that in there?
The newsletter has an article about the waste oil being accepted,
Okay,
and to please, bring just waste oil and no other contaminants.
and does it matter, I'm not an oil aficionado, but, like oil versus, like in a lawnmower versus like in a chainsaw? The type of oil, like motor oil versus two-cycle oil?
Two-cycle oil will just get burned because it is it's part of the fuel.
Oh, so it doesn't, you're not,
There's no oil tank in.
Got it.
That chainsaw.
okay. You can tell how much I know.
That's all right,
So-
yeah.
Okay, then I think we're all set. Yay, thank you.
And along those lines, I asked Arrow from, Littleton, they had just, updated Loudon's waste oil
Yeah,
for their garage. So they're supposed to be getting us a quote for the highway garage.
okay. And John, is that a single wall tank that's there now? The
The
one
one in the
with
ground is a double wall tank.
double wall tank, okay.
Yeah.
What's the age of the tank? Does anybody know?
Before I came in here in '04.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
been in the ground for a while. We did have one, it was hit by a plow or something, or
Yeah.
the skid steer,
That one,
and,
that tank,
yeah, and it was repaired,
yeah.
so.
Are we, I guess I'm unsure if we should be considering replacing that tank at this point.
It's a poly tank, I don't know what the lifespan of those is, I think it's like a forever tank, a double wall poly tank. I can check with DES and see what
Please.
their
Yeah,
recommendations
because
are.
as I said, especially with the monitoring,
Yep,
you know, the potential for contamination up there.
I guess the same would be true. Are you talking about the oil tank at the transfer station?
Yes.
Okay,
That's the, yeah. I just want to make sure that if we need to replace it, we do before we have.
before we start filling it up again? Okay,
Well, before we start filling the ground up.
yeah, that's true.
That's what we don't want to do.
New?
And then what's the capacity, John, of that tank?
400,
400 gallons?
we believe it's 400.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Grand.
Yeah.
along with the transfer station, there's been a request by the solid waste committee, to put a credit card machine up there. They think it would be a good idea for the town to do. I talked to John, I talked to David Bowles. There's no pushback for either one of them. There will be training that has to go into it. The cost is $385 for the machine, and it's a 3% surcharge to anybody that uses a credit card.
Okay.
I told the solid waste committee chair that I would talk to you guys first, and it's up to you to determine whether you want to do it or not.
Does it require an internet connection?
It does, and we have it in there.
We do have it. Okay. Interesting. John, you're in favor of this?
Personally, it takes longer to do,
Does it? Yeah, than a cash transaction?
to me.
Yeah.
Well, how much more, I mean, I know we accept credit cards and stuff at the farmer's market, and you run them and,
Yeah.
you gotta put the stuff in and,
Just standing in line at the grocery store, it's quicker.
Hmm.
Hand the cash and they're out, or you stand there and waiting for that ding on the card.
but if people who don't carry cash and you don't wanna have cash at the transfer station, but they're paying for,
Bags is easy enough. The C&D, yeah, that gets pricey.
Yeah.
They may like the card for that.
Yeah.
That's it, it's not bad. And what's the cost for, you said 3% charge on the bill for anybody using it, and they pay that, correct? The town's not eating that. And what's the charge for the equipment
It's $385.
we don't have to pay a fee, a monthly fee, it's just we buy the equipment?
It's $60 a month.
Okay. And then what, 380?
Which is, that $60 a month is a replacement in case something happens to the machine. So it's like insurance,
Yeah,
but that's what they charge.
okay. And we get it,
That's what we pay up at the town office for the one Sam's office.
oh, okay. And the same company could do it?
Well, I would contact them
All right.
first, yeah.
Yeah.
Since we did it already.
And $60 a month in the fee, it's enough to, I mean, we do enough business up there between bags and everything else to,
I don't know what the transaction rate would be versus cash if we pull it up there.
well, we can try it for,
We could try it for a while and see how it works, and if it doesn't work, then we give it.
yeah. Is there a contract for a year or?
I think there's a year contract. I'd have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's a year.
We try it for a year and evaluate.
Are we still gonna have cash up there for the ones that don't have?
You cannot refuse cash,
Right.
so we will start cash.
Just no $100, what, no $100
There-
bills?
There is no cash that's left over there overnight though.
Okay.
That's gone every night.
There's no bill larger than 20.
Oh, no, then 20.
That has been a little disgruntled. A lot of 50s show up.
Oh. Have they been turned away?
I turned a couple away when I worked at that Saturday.
Yeah.
I says, we have it posted on the window. What can you do for me?
Yeah.
So, we'll catch you next time.
Okay,
They're all good with it, just,
now they know.
So you think it's more of a training thing rather than?
We knew there was gonna be a transition.
yeah.
Well,
I can add that to, by the motor oil thing for the transfer station, remember, no bills larger than a 20.
yeah.
Stick it if I think of it.
Yeah.
All right, well, if we can afford to do it, try it for a year, I think a lot of people, again, if they're bringing dump and, they have to pay $200 and they don't wanna go and get a bunch of 20s, I'd rather put it on my credit card.
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's try it for a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
do we need to vote on that, or that's just,
No.
okay, all right.
All right. Anything else?
Any questions for me?
How's the grader? Are you having fun?
Yeah? Yeah, if I can ever get in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any applicants for the open positions?
No,
Okay.
This isn't something that Roy puts, does he have his commercial license or not?
no.
No.
Well, I'm thinking just one, if you can describe it easily, so if we only have four Clough people and 5 routes, how do you cover the people just
I
take
go
some
a little
extra time?
faster than mine.
Okay. Okay. Draw,
Split them up.
all right,
That's all you can do,
all right.
unless we come up with more bodies. But,
While John's here, I do have I had put under old business, but I do have the contract for the material for the dirt roads for 2025.
yep,
Do you wanna look at that now, or do you wanna wait until?
because if we have any questions, John is literally right here.
Literally and figuratively.
Yep. John, have you looked at this contract?
I know about it, yeah. Pretty much I had just asked Dick to supply it in July of next year, and he'll set up the trucks.
Yeah.
We're gonna start with 6, and I'll give him a map and we'll march around.
And you'll be up to snuff, I'm sure, with new employees by then, so.
So there's a price there, and there's a guarantee that the price will not increase higher than 5% before July of
I'll pass it on down.
2025.
Okay. And if I remember, the ARPA grant was for 250-some thousand?
57,000. And that's a little less, so I'm gonna work with John and
That's what I was
hours
gonna ask, yeah.
and machine time and
Yeah.
fuel and
Yeah.
try and come up with a number that we can, send to ARPA that will pretty much use up all
Yep.
that money.
Exactly.
So it says payments to be made every 2 weeks on material delivered, that means once, starting from now, or once the
On
material is
delivery.
delivered?
On delivery.
Okay. Oh, I see,
And we won't start taking delivery until next spring sometime or early summer.
right. Need to see this?
And the price for the material in your estimation is fair price?
Yes, yep,
No more than a 5% increase, that's pretty good. It seems like a lot of, if you look at the health insurance, it was going with like 17%, this is a good deal.
well, I mean, this includes trucking, so if the price of diesel fuel goes up or the cost of, obviously wages for truck drivers, things like that, all that's figured into the cost of.
Good.
Yep.
So who signs? I mean, this is all,
The chair can sign, you can authorize me to sign, it's up to you, how you wanna do it.
Why don't we authorize Ken to sign?
there,
That way you can, because you're here more than I am anyway, if anything comes up.
Okay.
John, did you actually, you know it's in it, but did you actually need to see do you actually want to see the paper?
I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah,
John hand delivered it to me.
okay. All right then,
I ran it up to Dick, back to Ken, back to Dick.
Yeah.
all right,
I will
good.
make copies of this and give it to John on Wednesday, so.
But this
And
is,
then I will make sure I work with John and then we'll submit our paperwork to ARPA
Yeah.
to make sure that's all done before the end of the year.
very good.
And does all that agreement and all the process, does that exist somewhere where we could look at it, or do we need a copy of that as well?
If you want, I'll retain a copy for our records.
Okay, you'll have it.
Yeah.
Okay. Transfer station, how'd we get into, old business?
Yeah, that's right. The waste oil and the dirt road. All right, do we need John for anything else?
Well, for many things, but at the moment,
Yeah, tonight. All right, thanks, John.
Well, you have,
John, do you want to stay here, until
Still Road?
Forest Society gets here?
oh, yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
hanging.
Oh, all right,
Just
okay,
hanging.
just in, okay.
okay.
That's it, this recent doesn't last.
Yeah, you look comfy, it's fine.
Well, actually, Rachel came in and
Here
now
I
she's
am.
last.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks. Good evening. First of all, great thanks to Ken and the staff. A lot of changes in terms of payroll. Thank you for the information about the payroll change. I've shared that with my staff. And I sent you an email about the insurance.
Saw that,
So
we'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and a 10:30 program that morning. So, thank you. We feel very informed and very cared for, so thank you very much, Ken, for that. Got bad news this morning about the solar grant. Thank you, Ken, for.
Yes,
Yeah,
That was on the agenda.
yeah.
yeah,
That's a
unfortunately.
bummer. That's a real bummer, because I have had 3 walkthroughs. The last 3 Fridays, I've had walkthroughs of sustainable heat suppliers. 2 geothermals, actually, and 1 additional to my 3 other bids for mini splits, AR cooling. So that changes things a bit, because if I was really going with the understanding, I just felt like we had a really good chance at the solar grant. And it really changes my energy diet if I don't have unlimited solar power.
Your energy night.
Right. I've also got 2 other grants in the hopper right now, but I can't really say with any assurance in the next few years, there are going to be many grants for sustainable energy. So it was a blow this morning, so thank you for forwarding that on. Onward and upward, I have an energy audit on November 20th, and that was arranged by the Francos and the Energy Committee. And they're gonna come do an energy audit. I already had an energy audit, but it's a level 1. And I'm finding with all my grants, I need a level 2 or level 3 energy audit, with more specifics. So we're going for that on the 20th. The paving is beautiful, and the John Pike, not Highway John, but John from Pike was fabulous. And I didn't know if lines were coming or not. Lines are coming?
Right, yeah.
Lines are coming. Okay. It's beautiful without, beautiful without. Thank you. The back door and the library pillars have been repaired. Those guys did a fabulous job. I heard that the farmers market gang was out back on Sunday. I don't know if you were with them.
I was not.
They were moving the trailer and they couldn't say enough good things about the look of it back there. So thank you very, very much for that.
Where did they pile the picnic tables? Are they up against the back of the library again?
There was a platform for the music, I believe.
Platforms for the music was up against the town hall, and they put them in the basement, but the picnic tables need to
Put
go somewhere.
them in the basement of the town hall.
The platforms, I think so, that's where they lived last winter.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, I was just wondering if the picnic tables got.
I didn't look specifically at that. I'm so glad the trailer was gone. Just so I don't have to say to the kids, get off the trailer. That's it.
Can you back up a second? Is that a problem with kids on the trailer?
They're curious about it. Okay. But it's not a problem. They're
Okay.
curious about a lot of things. But
Okay.
we like to encourage the curiosity on other things, not necessarily the trailer.
Okay, got
I do have another walkthrough with another geothermal company, so I'm just gonna keep going on these grants. And that is what I have to report. I'm coming in hot on my budget. Thank you, Cal, for that reminder. But coming in real hot on my budget, but I'm gonna do great. Just pumping the brakes a little bit. And thank you for watching my video. And do you want me to address this question now? Or
Only if
after?
it's appropriate to address it now.
Absolutely. If you haven't had a chance to watch the video or you don't have questions at this time, Beth watched the video. Thank you for that. And her question was, when I talked about income generating equipment, so that's my fax machine, my copier, and my scanner, 10 cents a copy for black and white, 50 cents for color, $1 for a fax per page. Beth went to ask about income generating services, including passport processing. So many libraries do the passport processing. I haven't had a chance to investigate it because it involves quite a bit of training.
It does.
It does.
But I think that's something you may want to talk about with your trustees and talk to Bo about it.
Absolutely.
Because they use it and they found it to be quite an income generator.
Yes,
And if you're looking for, the training may be well worth it.
it might be. And I will have now 3 full-time, because Rosie's adding an hour, that I am gonna look into that. So.
And you can talk to my friend who was the library, Jenny down at Bo, because she did a lot of the training. It was her impetus to get the Bo Library to do it. So she's very familiar with it. We'd be happy to talk with you about it if you need a firsthand or just go into the Bo Library.
Another laptop.
Yeah, because they found it to be, yes, you have to be particular and it's a lot of training, but it was a good income generator for them, so.
And so.
That's a conversation I'm sure for you and your trustees.
To the trustees, which I put it, thanks to you, I put it on the agenda of the business for tonight and moments from now. Just a little background on that, a lot of libraries will act as a processing center. It's still, they're just basically helping patrons put together the information they need, picture taking, just another set of eyes on the paperwork, and then it's sent off to a process, like an actual State Department processing center. But a library can bag quite a bit of money doing it. The point of view that I come at it is there's just about nothing we don't offer at the library, including notary and justice and fee services, which of course I can't charge for. So this is sometimes the only way to be able to do that. So.
And the amount of travel that people in Canterbury do, it might.
Absolutely.
Well, the people out of town, they had people, you know, from
Oh,
all
yeah,
over, so,
and they
who don't wanna go to the post
I think
office.
it's a great idea.
Yeah. so
Yeah,
I
if you
looked
can
into
get
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
You can.
Do we get a new door on the back of the library, or is it the same one that was there?
That was the fix. So to replace the back door, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn, and maybe you want to answer. Joel and Ken came down, 2 years ago. And we looked at it. That's the same door from 1952. It's a steel frame, a steel sill, and so the whole back wall would have to be really, really affected to replace the door. So Joel and Ken and I thought the best alternative was the eyebrow. I call it an eyebrow. Some people
Portico.
call it a portico,
Yeah.
a parapet, something like that, for half the price. Because the steel door alone was $3,000. Never mind building and constructing
I
the
think we
steel
got an
door.
estimate of like $7,000.
It was 7,000. It was 7,000. It was $7,850 to replace the door.
So we thought that if we just put the little roof over it.
Yeah.
We prevent the water from coming off the roof.
The snow
get
piling
around
up
the,
anyway.
And snow on that cement pad.
Yeah. Isn't there a pretty big gap on the bottom of the thing? Or?
It has a piece of weather stripping on it, but it's worn. It's an older door. I don't know about replacing that weather stripping. I don't know if you can get the old part off to put a new one on.
There's probably no insulation in the wall either, so.
Correct.
It's a masonry wall. And so masonry in and out, so I doubt there's insulation.
Yeah.
There is not.
It looks good.
It does look good. And, it also is a safety feature that Ken and Joel came up with. I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, because there's snow and ice, and because you've really worked with the back drainage area, that it ices up. And it also, it makes it easier for the Historical Society gang to get in there, to kind of get undercover. It also looks good. I mean, the back of that library is not
It does look much better.
It does look much better, so I thought it was a great idea. We waited 2 years, but we got it. So, and keep in mind that it's not my circus, but I am there all the time. And the Historical Society, I haven't heard their reaction, but I would imagine they're very happy. They're really happy.
And I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about now, but at some point I'd like to hear further about what geothermal means for the library. So I'm not exactly sure how that would even work. But we don't need to have a description of geothermal now.
Just two wells, covered wells, and they would go down and they would collect the earths. 50, yeah. I'd love to show you our diagrams. I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
But it might be a real viable option for us, and I wouldn't mind being the first town building with geothermal. I think that would be pretty cutting edge. It would be a good educational piece. I'm always going for that.
And you're looking for grants to help support that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Currently I have 2 USDA Rural Library Sustainable Heating grants. And if they can get passed through before January 21st,
That's a great name. USDA, Rural Library Sustainable
heating grant.
All right.
And I have 2 of those in the hopper right now. But they're incredibly competitive. Because there's a lot of libraries and they're all really, really old.
Yeah.
And I've got a newish, oldish library. But I will, if I can't get a grant, I'm gonna have to do a warrant article. I'm just trying my best, because right now, my burners are working. They're not working well, it's very cold, very inefficient, but Energy Committee has been helpful. Howie was super helpful, Kent was super helpful. The Francos are wonderful, and or Howe, they've all been helping me try to figure this out instead of asking the county. Because it will be, you know, it's a whole new heating system for a really big building.
Yeah.
And non-insulated, really big building.
Maybe bigger if you ever get around to doing an addition. So even more
That'll be
heating or
insulated.
cooling. Oh, that'll be insulated. All right, great. Sometime I'll come in and look at your diagram.
Yes,
Okay, will do.
learning a lot about geothermal.
Questions, Rachel? No? Great.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Good night, Rachel, thank you.
Hello to the trustees.
Yes, I'll give them my love. Your love.
All right.
Alright. Alright, what do you think, wanna sign,
Payable.
yeah.
Sign some stuff.
Yep, sign some stuff, that we can. Alright. Let's go to this. Alright, so first one is, it looks like an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $189,863.21.
So moved.
And seconded.
All those in favor, aye?
Not sure about the 21 cents, but okay.
Always got a sketchy number.
Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Send a picture to Al.
Yep. All right, next is a payroll manifest in the amount of $51,806.22.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye. That's a heavy one.
That's a detail.
Mm.
All right, I'll pass that over to Ken. All right, next is a welfare manifest in the amount of $1,549.25.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye. I think we're lucky that there's just one of these.
It's been considerably busier at times, the last couple of years. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, next is an appointment slip to the Solid Waste Committee for Roy Plisco.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't know what we needed to do that, but we did. All right, today is the 18th. There we go. All right, that's done.
Tavern.
Yes. All right, next is a request from Clough Tavern Farm for their annual Christmas sale, always the day after Thanksgiving for 10 days, and it's to place signs in the town center. There's a picture attached if anybody doesn't remember
Oh,
what the
yeah.
signs
It's
look
always the
like.
same signs.
So,
Do they need another, request for the signs that they put at the end of Clough Tavern? Because,
Just for the town meeting.
okay. Is that their property at the end where Clough Tavern comes out? It is?
I believe it is. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
assumptions. But,
No.
all right, that's that.
Do we get requests for other, signs in the center? I'm thinking of.
We're supposed to,
Oh, okay.
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Okay,
All right, how about minutes?
how about them?
Have a lot of suggested changes.
Yes, I actually was gonna ask you about that. I noticed as I was reading through.
Yeah, I
I
made
think-
highlights.
Yeah. All right, so why don't,
If I could,
yeah, go ahead, Cal,
all right.
please.
So I'm going through an email that Beth sent. So the first one was the question she had about the Canterbury Shaker Village section. I did review the video, Beth, and
Oh.
we did not talk about it more.
Okay.
So it might be something you talk about with Ken later on that you're
Okay.
remembering.
Perfect, it's reflected in, okay, that's
Yeah,
fine.
so the comma, I'm gonna do that. The next, first real one is on.
I'm sorry, Cal, let me stop you right there. The
Yeah.
comma where?
I didn't say because I was just gonna skip over it because it
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
really matter.
Okay, understood, okay.
On line 134, it says going forward, the town should budget on a range. And the suggestion is to say budget on a range of employees who should be covered.
Because on a range didn't make any sense.
Right.
Alright.
Yep.
Everybody's okay with that one? Then
Yep.
the next one is line 187.
Yep.
Restoring the highway department, restoring the highway department to full staffing, so that it makes a little more sense. And a similar one on line 197.
Yep.
I wrote the highway department is empty, to understaffed.
Why?
Because that's a more accurate term.
Okay.
And then there's a couple other just grammatical spaces and commas and stuff. So
Gotcha, okay.
if
Where
everybody's
appropriate, I guess.
okay with those, then maybe you vote on this one and then we
Yep.
can move to the next one.
Yep, sounds good to me. All right, so I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes from the 2024, November 4th, 2024, as amended.
Second.
And, yes,
All those in favor?
yes.
Thank you.
Alright, so the next one is the draft minutes.
Thank you for reviewing those minutes, Cal. I mean, the video, I didn't get to it, so thank you.
No, so the November 13th draft minutes for the public ones, 8,000 is highlighted.
Yep.
Beth wanted to know if, should it say 8,000 or should it say 8,000 per family plan? I wasn't sure, so I figured, do you know, Kevin?
Yeah, I'd have to look.
I don't think it was just an 8,000 difference total for the,
Yeah, I'll have to look at I would say that is the family plan.
okay, but it wasn't $8,000 one time, it was per either single or
Per
family
employee.
or whatever.
Yes, that was the family plan, I believe.
Okay,
But
is there a way to word it so you don't need to?
I really have to look at
Okay.
the chart to see.
So how do we
What are
deal
some
with
of
that
those?
then?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Could change it to, would cost the town thousands more?
Do you,
I
do you
heard
have
the chart.
that chart that I put together? Because that would tell us. Yeah. Okay, so it's,
So what we currently have is this one.
yes, but we're gonna go with this one.
But the statement is
Okay.
the least expensive current plan is gonna cost the town over 8,000.
Right here, this is the one right here. The single, $8,380.80 is what it would cost. And that would be the cheapest plan.
So it shouldn't say current plan, it should just say
So the
Right.
plan,
Right, the least expensive plan that is available to the town.
Gotcha.
Okay,
So
It's
Cal,
over $8,000.
we're gonna strike the word current then, right?
I'm striking the word current and
Yep.
adding the least expensive plan that is available to the
Yeah.
town.
is going to cost the town just,
Over $8,000.
just $8,000 for all employees?
No,
That's for
that's the cost of a plan.
Okay, that's where I think it needs the word, $8,000 per plan or per,
I can also
whatever.
add per plan.
because otherwise it's just a one-time cost of $8,000, but that may not be the case if we have 3 people who take it, right?
Right.
Okay, all right,
So,
that was my concern. Not just one $8,000 charge, but it could be more.
so that sentence is now gonna read, the board
Okay.
discussed raising the amount to encourage others to take the buyout as the least expensive plan that is available to the town is going to cost the town over 8,000 per
Per
plan,
person.
per person,
Per covered employee.
per covered employee.
Okay. Okay,
Alright,
I am now happy, thank you very much.
and then there was some, Beth, in your email, you said that on line 29, it said, HAS account. It does not, so I'm not sure. what
No,
you're talking about.
well, maybe I was, on line 28, it says the town will also contribute $1,000 towards a health savings account. Again, it should be $1,000 per employee who uses an HSA account, correct? Not just a one-time
Correct.
$1,000.
Okay,
I get what you said.
$1,000 per covered employee.
Makes sense.
So, if all of a sudden we have $3,000 charge instead of $1,000.
Yep.
That would make sense, okay.
Okay.
Alright, if everybody's good with that, that's it for those.
Yes.
Everybody else, okay? Good. Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the November 13th, 2024 minutes as amended.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And
Alright.
then you've got the,
Yep, good. Executive session from November 13th, 2024. I did look it over and saw nothing that we should change.
Looks good to me too.
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't look at this first. Okay, no, this is
Good.
good,
Okay.
yes, thank you.
All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the executive session of November 13th, 2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right,
ask me.
hand those back
Now
in.
you have to-
Cal?
Vote to, oh, no, we already voted.
No, we did, yeah, we did. Thank you.
Thank you for reusing the paper for our.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was looking for something relevant there.
yeah, hopefully it's not confusing.
All right. What do you think, Wyven Road, Ken? I think we're there. Folks, why don't you come on up? Yes, thank you.
Where are we supposed to come up
You can
Yeah, well, just have a
Have a seat there, yeah, you don't need to stand. We're pretty informal, so.
Yeah, let's do.
So whenever you're ready, go right ahead, sir.
Well, what I wanted from you guys is I want all the documentation that I can get from you, where you say that Mr. Nash, you told Mr. Nash he owns the road. You gave Mr. Nash permission to cut trees on the road, correct?
Yes, I would say that's accurate.
Did the road waiver,
Yeah.
All right, I think this is a twofold problem. One is ownership and one is right of way. I have documentation here for my right of way. If you wanna look at it, it would probably be better for you to look at it
Yeah.
than to read it all.
I think we should look at it.
You can make copies if you wish.
That would be great.
It's all public record.
Yeah.
We don't have a copier in here, do we?
Yeah, why don't you give that to me, and actually, can we keep this,
No, you can't keep it.
we have no way of copying it tonight, so, do
Now,
you wanna come down to Sam Lake House when it's open?
when tomorrow, come to the town,
You could come tomorrow morning.
tomorrow,
Tomorrow morning.
I have to go to an appointment in the morning.
Okay,
Early, what time are you in?
I'll be there from 8 till 3, but Sam
All
will be
right, I'll
there
stop by
from
early in the
12 to
morning.
7.
I'll stop by early in the morning.
okay. Okay. So, I don't know if anybody else wants to look this over while we're talking, but go right ahead.
Well, what I would really want is how you guys can prove to me that he owns the road. I need all the documentation, the deeds,
Okay.
or whatever you guys got.
Yeah, so that's,
Somehow you gave that all to him, because
So
I'm
we
probably gonna have to
the
get
deeds.
legal counsel, I have no choice.
understood, yeah,
And, and now there's value involved also.
okay,
So we have the deeds there for
Yeah.
Nash and, that whole section. I guess our research showed that when the town discontinued Wyven Road in
1941.
1941,
And it's something
all that
happened in
property
1939.
was owned
Yeah, go ahead.
by one person. And subsequently, that property was subdivided, and it showed that the Nash property,
I don't believe that to be true.
well, I'm just telling you what we found.
Because in 1939, somebody gave deeded right to use the other side of the road.
Okay, well, like I say, if you can let me finish, then we can discuss.
Go ahead.
So, the deeds that we have now shows Mr. Nash owning to the western side of Wyven Road. And it shows your property running to the stone wall at the eastern side of your property line. So it'd be that stone wall that divides your road
The
from
last
Wyven
I
Road.
checked on his deed and his land, his plot, he was on the stone wall also, on his side of the road.
now,
Now, there's a lot more involved here that,
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer, but I'm gonna need one.
We've spoken with a surveyor that did the
I'm gonna
surveying.
talk with a surveyor too.
And that was what we got from the surveyor. We looked at the deeds, and your deed is pretty explicit, that it shows the stone wall as your boundary.
Yes, it does.
So,
And this is,
and it gives, his deed gives him right away to Wyven Road. Yours does not.
I have right in there, I have a deed right away to Wyven Road. It's all,
The
it's
last
all in that
deed-
documentation.
The last deed that we found that goes to your property does not say anything about deeded right away to Wyven Road.
The deed goes back from me, it goes to Deeder, and then it goes back to UHL.
Yep.
All.
Yep.
And they're all deeded right away to Wyven Road. It's all in writing.
Yep.
Mr. Messier,
And
is
your-
that what's in this? Is that what,
Yes.
all that information is
Yes.
contained?
In your
In
deed,
your-
in your deed,
Yes, it's all in there.
from deeders to you does not specify that though.
No, mine doesn't. It doesn't have to.
Okay,
It doesn't have to. According to law, it doesn't have
okay.
to. No, it doesn't.
I'm just telling you what we found. This is the research that
Well,
we
I'm
found.
only telling you what I found.
Okay,
too.
all right, all right.
So if we get a copy of all of this, which we don't currently have, correct?
Well, we
I
have
think we
deeds
got-
going back,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going way back.
we have deeds
Way
going
back.
back to the
There's a
Brown.
chain right there.
Our deed
Yeah, it
research
goes
goes
back
back
there,
to Brown.
exactly. It goes back there.
So are you
Goes
saying
back
that
any further.
what we have is the same as in this,
I
or?
would.
But we don't know.
Having not looked at it.
yeah.
Okay.
I can't.
So we'll get a copy of all this.
But I need a copy of things from you that proves that he owns it too.
I did do the right to know request and
Oh, I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
ask.
gave you
But
everything.
I have, but those are only minutes of the minute meetings, I don't have his deed that says he owns it, I don't have none of that stuff.
Alright, so I don't know how to look at this. But Callie, you'll need a right to know request to get the rest of the information that is here, or no?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just saying, Mr. Messier contacted us,
Right, that's.
so I already gave him what we had.
Yeah.
Um,
All right, so why don't we return that to you,
To get,
and then come to Sam Lake and everything copied, so.
All right, fine, that's fine. But, I'm keeping this open for now, you know.
there you go.
I'm probably gonna get legal people and a surveyor,
Yeah, that's certainly,
Okay.
yeah, that's up to you.
you know, because, you know, property was cut, so that's value. And
Well, because we can't use the road now.
we can't use the road, because he said it's his road. Is
Understood.
it a road or is it a driveway now?
Yeah, you're getting into, I think, areas of civil litigation, and
Well, you guys gave him permission.
we did, so.
So Wyven Road is
yeah,
a
is a
private road,
private
not a
road,
driveway.
yeah.
Right, when it becomes a private road, it gets divided in the middle. You're trying to say it wasn't because it was somebody who owned both sides before 1941, but after that, I'm not sure if that's true or not. I have to get consult.
Yeah,
Okay, I like to say, I'm just reporting what we found, what our
Right, and I'm
research.
just reporting what I found.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How's that?
So where do we go now?
Sounds
We've got
good.
our copies, Mr. Messier, we've got his copies,
Mr.,
and
well,
now.
he's gonna come with his copy.
I'll stop by and see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
All right, thank you.
all right.
Alrighty.
And I'll give these back to you.
You too.
Do we need John for any further,
It's 30, the.
Oh, that's right.
Supposed to do the
Yep.
Forest Society.
Yep.
We can move on to other
Yep.
business if you want, new business.
Yeah, I think we certainly should. Sorry, John. I guess you can continue
It's
to
all
hang
good.
out and.
It's all good.
Something.
You learn things.
Yep, certainly do. All right, so it looks to me as though Ken runs a recycling.
Yes. The transfer station manager brought this into me today.
Thank you.
I'll give you two. You can look at.
Yeah, I'll pass it.
One is, one can go to the solid waste committee. Kent, if you wanted to take that to them when you meet next. It's a suggestion from the transfer station manager. Loudon is restricting the recyclables, the plastic recyclables.
Yeah,
It increases the quality of the product, so there's a potential for more money.
okay.
And then it also reduces the food, I guess, carrying containers, which
Mayonnaise and peanut butter.
could lead to rodents and other animals.
Yeah.
We're storing the plastic now, the plastic bales, and any food products that leak out of those when they compress it. They don't, our transfer station people don't
Yeah.
clean that before they compress it.
Yeah.
No, they should.
So there may be food scraps and stuff in there, so. It's a suggestion from him, it's just one of those things he thought that you guys could know about it, and the solid waste, and something to discuss at some point.
So you want me to give this to someone?
Correct. If you
So
want.
it would be good to have, the solid waste committee weigh in on
Mhm.
this and then have I mean, like, this is a really nice, clear list of what's accepted and not accepted. I find the chart that they have up at the transfer station currently about what's accepted and not accepted is really confusing, and it's not exactly clear because the pictures show like bottles with the caps on, and they don't want the caps on, and, so a list like this would be great, because then we could, again, print it in the newsletter, send it out on the email, and have a nice, handy thing to hand out, so everybody knows exactly what we do and don't accept. Because I think people are never sure, like, is a mayonnaise jar, or those plastic clamshell things, or, you know, whatever the black, takeout containers that aren't accepted, blah, blah, blah. But this, you know, like this would be really, a really nice form to have.
So when I was up there the other day, David was talking about, was it cans or something in the paper trailer?
We get all kinds of things in there, even bricks
Yeah, we said it was a mess in there.
In the paper trailer?
in
you
the
get
paper
bricks?
trail. Oh, yeah. Whether they had weighed it down at home and just the whole container comes in. The paper, there's a lot of, I'll call it contamination, it's not just paper.
Yeah, stuff.
Bowden almost ended up with a full tool set
Wow.
when he was helping out.
So how is that checked before it goes, like, you found that stuff, but just because it happened to be laying on top, or how does it get found?
When they bale paper, there's a table that we bring in
Oh,
and put
okay,
it right before the baler.
yeah,
So with the Bobcat, he dumps his bucket
then
full
you can
and
look.
everything gets
Oh, okay.
hand shoved into the baler.
So is the paper a loser for us, or does it make money?
2 years ago, when it was being hauled down to Massachusetts, they wanted to charge $100 a ton tipping fee for the paper. And then it came up, and then it was a break even, and
Charge or pay $100?
They're gonna charge.
they were gonna charge. We didn't, the way our shipping worked out, we didn't get charged.
Okay.
But, cardboard, you make money, paper,
Sometimes.
Is it a break even, or is it still costing us more than we're making on it?
if you actually add in the labor and everything, would probably costing us. But it's not as much as the tipping fee over at Wheeler Creek.
But
And
you
still
can't,
not
but
get
there's no
money.
market for it right now.
Yeah.
You can't even get rid of it. So,
So should we run
can't-
it through the packer, or?
well, we're getting to the point where the salt shed has some storage in it, other than salt. And coming into winter, we're gonna have to do something. I talked to David Bowles today, and he was gonna try and move some things around, but we are going to need to use the salt shed for salt this winter and.
Yep.
hopefully
So are we
market.
currently storing bales of paper we can't get rid of?
Correct.
The salt shed is full of bales right now.
Okay.
I couldn't even get to the sand and back.
Yeah.
So if we don't find a market for it before winter, what, we just
Yeah.
build something with them?
Well-
Is that something we wanna build out?
We would probably have to break them apart and put them in the packer and send them over to Wheelbury.
Or waste?
Well, we don't, all the trailers are full, our storage trailers and containers are full, so we don't have any option.
That would be our last resort.
Is there I never thought about this until this moment, but, you know how they wrap bales of hay to stick in the field, and is there a way to wrap the bales of paper? They're cubes and the bales in the,
No,
oh,
they're not set up as bales, they're
I know they're
and,
square, not round, but is the technology available to wrap them and let them sit till we have a market?
Probably not, nothing that we have.
Yeah, no, yeah,
I don't know. The hay bales that they wrap are made specifically for the machine
Yeah.
that wraps them. So,
I just didn't know if other technology existed. Well, sounds like the recycling, committee could maybe look for other sources.
there are other towns, a lot of the other towns are no longer accepting plastics or mixed paper for recycling. Because the market there's no market for it. So they're shipping it to the waste side.
Does not
I
seem
mean, you
like-
can't even get rid of it. It's not that like you're paying to get rid of it. You can't even get rid of it. Nobody wants it.
Yeah, but there's all, it just doesn't seem to add up, you know, all the marketing for, you know, made with 100% recycled paper, they're getting it from somewhere, where are they getting it? Okay, Well, it seems like there should be enough interest in a town such as ours with committees who want to do renewable energy and solar and composting and everything else to find some way to use all the paper that we've got. I find it hard to believe that there's nothing to be done with it other than break it apart and send it to a Liberator. That seems, we've got people who would rather it not happen.
Well, my first suggestion is let's get rid of the paper that's in there and start throwing it in the packer, right? Because we don't have to bale it then and then unbale it. That doesn't make any sense to me, at least. I know there's gonna be a hue and a cry because we're not recycling every
Wow.
dime.
Well, if we don't have storage for it, there's no market for it, we have to send it to wheelbarrow. That's the only option.
Yeah. So before we do that, should we announce it? Just so people, well.
Yeah, I know. My
Well,
dog is sad news down the road.
Right.
Well, announce it and ask if anybody wants to start investigating while it's going to, in the interim.
I will remind you, it's November 18th.
Right.
And as we were talking about earlier, it is gonna snow at some
Oh,
point.
no, I know
So
that.
We have to do something.
If we do it now, fine. If we do it for the short term, fine, if that's what we have to do, but, it would,
Yeah.
it
I
seems
think
like we
that's
should
what the
be
solid
able
waste
to,
committee is set up to do, that's.
that would be an excellent,
I think this may be more than short term though.
Yeah.
I think so too. Well, as plastics have gone through this cycle, we just
Yeah.
quietly.
Yeah, I mean, we do what we have to do.
We can only do,
Yeah.
we don't have so much storage space and we,
Yeah.
so how do we get it on just as a topic of discussion for the solid waste committee to say, can you?
Well, I think,
So I'll hit them when I.
All right.
yeah,
Okay,
and
good.
I think unless I'm wrong, Ken, I think that this is something they've been working on.
Well, it goes back and forth as
Yeah.
tides rise and fall, it seems to be.
Agreed.
I think if
Yeah.
we just throw it in there and deal with it in the short term, I hate to see us break them up, but I don't know anything's gonna be, is it come springtime it's better, or is it?
I don't know, I don't know.
Remember we had the woman from the,
Northeast Regional
Yeah.
Resources, and they have sent out emails saying there are no buyers at this
Yeah.
point. And they're regional, they're the Northeast Regional Resource, so it's the whole Northeast.
Yeah.
They search markets.
Yeah.
It's not just a Canterbury or
No, no.
capital area problem, it's a region-wide problem.
I guess all I'd wanna do is kind of like with the oil issue, no, we're not taking oil, well, this is why, and this is what we're doing about it.
Yeah.
If the solid waste committee is actually, even if it's a hopeless task, if we can say, look, they've got the information, they're doing their best, we can't do anything about it now, winter's coming, we have to, everything we just said here, so people know. So if all of a sudden doesn't hit Facebook with everybody saying, why the heck are you burning paper? Well, we're trying not to, but unless you wanna come up with another idea that's viable.
We can post that information and
You can give them a week with filling the trailer, but once we close the door, it'll go into the packer.
right.
So you'll have a trailer full of loose paper.
Yeah, so if we can just let people know, because everybody wants to know, and wants to know why, instead of just quietly trying to pretend that we don't have a problem, well, we do, so,
But our problem, I would suggest, is everyone's problem.
yeah.
It isn't just Canterbury.
No, and I think maybe that's helpful to know.
Yeah, agreed. I think you're right.
All right,
so if we say as of, I guess November 30th, the paper will no longer be recycled.
We're still gonna have to accept it, right?
We have to accept it, but it will no longer be recycled.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be put in the trailer, it'll go directly into the packer.
okay. It can't go in the, well, I guess it could go in the December. it's gonna be a full page if you want to add it to the December newsletter, or just put it out on the town email. for the
I'll
moment.
put it on town email,
Yeah.
we'll post it, up at the transfer station, a big sign, and
Yeah, and I think the first question that'll come is, will we require it to be in a green bag? So, we can add that, I think that'll help.
And a short explanation of why,
Or lengthy.
or a lengthy one.
But I agree, I mean, I do think people want to know why they're making decisions. We don't like this decision.
No, I don't like this decision at all, but, you know, as you say, what do you do if there's no market, no room, no? and-
Nobody that'll even take it.
Just find that hard to believe,
Yeah.
but, okay.
Okay, so tomorrow is baling day, so we will not bale paper. We're just gonna push it in the trailer as much as we can.
That makes sense, Joe. Makes sense to you, I assume, right?
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tax rate or Kevin?
Kevin's here, talk with him.
Come on down, Kevin.
Okay, pays to show up early.
Yes, sometimes it
As opposed
does.
to not showing up, right?
Exactly.
My apologies for last time around. Yeah, so I just wanted to stop in as a representative from a new civic group. The Friends of the Canterbury Country Store is 5 years old next month. And those of us that are still around have decided the mission's been accomplished. And we all kind of have either moved away or looking to do other stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the last things that group wanted to do was to create some sort of new similar group, but with a broader perspective of things to do in town if they come up. So whether it's still something that the store needed, or maybe something to do with the grounds around the center, or buildings, or the school, PTO, 4-H, whatever. It would be kind of like a hub for both volunteer coordination and then fundraising too. I think of like the cemetery committee that wasn't able to accept funds for the monument and had to form a nonprofit.
Yeah.
This could be almost like an umbrella group for similar situations.
Yeah.
Somebody says, hey, the July 4th thing we would like to see going on. One of the things we're going to do is give money to this new group, kind of like a restricted fund for that purpose, and keep that cookout going with music. But similar things, people have come up with ideas of food festivals or whatever, concerts in the gazebo. So it can do whatever it feels the community wants. It'll be made up of 5 to 7 board members from the community. And like I said, if the 4-H had a project and needed some help or funding or whatever, they could go to this group. One of the things that we're setting it up as a nonprofit. It's already registered with the state. So shortly it'll be registered with the charitable trust unit at the Attorney General's office. At that point, then we can file for tax exempt status. So we will be doing that. And the idea was to form it as a nonprofit corporation because unlike the country store where it was kind of a short-term focus group of small people, this may have a life and people will come and go and those people should be protected from a liability standpoint, but also there should be a little more organization to it.
Yeah.
So that was the thought of why to set it up.
Yeah.
So the first thing they want to do is the tree lighting thing. Randy is going to be the chairperson of this group. And I don't think they've got enough communication going up yet. There's just 3 of us that are kind of doing this at the moment. But, so they're working on the lights as much as possible that can be salvaged. But then fundraising to get whatever lighting is needed to do the job. And she's setting all that up.
Yeah. Has anyone looked at the lights?
Yes,
Okay.
Steve Henry, I guess, is working.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, he's going through
Okay.
them and salvaging the pieces that can be salvaged.
Okay.
Yeah, so to that And the Friends of the Store have a little bit of money. They're also gonna make a little donation towards the lights. And then the last thing they were thinking about doing was at some point, because the tree is so difficult to decorate, and it's pretty old, was to offer to buy an evergreen to be planted somewhere, theoretically on a gazebo green. That would be a nice short tree to decorate for young people maybe to begin with. And then it will be there down the road when it comes time for the other tree to meet its demise and go somewhere else. I would anticipate getting a smaller than, a spruce, a regular spruce, maybe some hybrid blue spruces that would stay in the 20 to 30 foot range. It's getting a little crowded over there, particularly with that, keeping that tree in place for the time being. So it wouldn't be a massive tree in the long run. But, so that was the thought. So specifically, I guess I'm here to ask any questions about us donating a tree. Would that be acceptable, not acceptable?
I would think that it would be acceptable, once you know what tree you have and where you want to put it.
Yeah.
As opposed to just accepting a tree and having it show up someplace.
Yeah.
Randomly start digging holes, there's only so many places you could put it, but yeah.
Right, so there's really only two spots that I would see, and they're either side of the current blue spruce. Spruce. One would be on the westerly side between the spruce and the new maple, but hugging the spruce as much as possible so that, again, when that's gone, it's filling the void between the maple and the new elm.
Yeah.
Or likewise, heading to the east, somewhere between the spruce and the telephone pole. Again, so that it's not crowding the elm, the gazebo, and the telephone pole.
And the Canterbury Fair.
Yeah.
Whatever happens on the green
Yeah.
for fair purposes
Yeah.
or anything else.
Tucking it far enough back, so I know like at the 4th of July concert in the gazebo, you'd like to sit to the south of the gazebo to get the shade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would,
Yeah.
if it was on that side, push it back. I like the west side just because it does get shade in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Events like that.
So what are you envisioning this being called? The Canterbury, Friends of Canterbury Center or
So the
Friends
group-
of the Canterbury Community?
Yeah, the group is called Friends of Canterbury Center, but in its mission statement, it says not only to support activities that keep the center lively and viable, but the community at large, and to support any ancillary groups that have things that want us to be involved in, such as 4-H, PTO, Recreation Committee, whoever.
Do we need to look at your mission statement and bylaws before we say, sounds great? Or is this already a done deal?
I don't think you have any authority over the formation of a group, other than if they're gonna do something on the town property.
Town events?
Any,
Yeah.
my guess would, I thought would be that you would say any projects you're gonna do on town property would have to be brought before the board of selectmen. for
Right.
approval.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah, it's
Do
not.
projects include events? Because
Yeah,
Yeah.
every year they talk, they send us an email about the 4th of July hot dog,
Right.
thing and all that, so I think it's just keeping that line of communication open on
Right.
those types of events.
We wouldn't have any authority to do anything other than that, basically. We'd have to get a vendor's fee if you were setting up, or concert permission or whatever.
Yeah.
They usually ask for barricades,
Yeah.
so
Right.
that's
Yeah.
a trigger there,
Yeah.
anything like that, it's,
Yeah.
What was the thing we had talked about last meeting about insurance for groups holding events? So would this group, be like if they're having a 4th of July event, is that a town sponsored event if it's being run by an independent group, and then what do we do about insurance?
Well, it wouldn't be a town event. Talking about like a fireworks festival, for instance.
Yeah.
That's been put on by the Friends of the Country Store. That's not
It's
a
for the town, but it's not put on by the
It's not
town,
put on
so,
by the town.
so what do we do?
So that would require some kind of insurance for that event. Yeah, liability insurance.
I would guess so long
We
as the
talk
group's
about
aware
like
of
this
that.
commercial
Yeah.
liability,
Right,
one day
one day events.
Yeah.
events are covered for $50 or
Right,
$100.
pretty reasonable.
Very reasonable rates.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another reason to form this group as a corporation, just for the long arms,
Yeah.
reach to
Yes.
try to get people who are just trying to do a good thing.
Yeah,
Ken, you had, quick, you had a question or a comment?
Well, a couple of things that I'm concerned about. One is we have an awful lot of water running across the common now. It's coming down along the side of Howie and Lois's property and then jumping straight across the road there and running across the green. It's killing the grass that's on the uphill side. And I'm guessing it's heading towards that tree, which is probably not helping that either. So I think the solution is gonna be at some point, we're gonna have to either ditch that side on Howie and Lois's and get the water somewhere. I don't know where it goes is the problem.
So this had been discussed 4 or 5 years ago about pulling up the curbing
That
that
would help a
surrounds
lot. Yeah.
the green and resetting it.
Yeah.
So it actually goes up and forms a barrier for any water that runs into it right now. We've repaved that road so many times and the grass is built up and everything, so now the curbing really doesn't act as a barrier to keep the water off of there.
Right.
So you have salt and sand and anything like that in the
It
swash.
killed that strip of grass and there was also a bunch of holes in there when they got done running across there, so I don't know what it would cost. I've never done any kind of that type of
Yeah.
stuff, but.
Is that something we would do or we would have to contract that out?
That would be a contract though. We had talked about the highway department was potentially being able to dig up the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and John, you probably know better than I do, most companies don't reuse what's there.
I've
They
noticed
get rid
that.
of the old stuff and they put in new.
Yeah.
So we'd have to get a price on what that costs.
Yeah.
but something like that, if that was redoing a bit of the town green in order to protect a new tree that the committee is, the Canterbury, Friends of the Canterbury Center is putting in, would the town bear the brunt of it? Would the committee want to chip in? How would it work? What do you think? Or would that be something that we would do to protect the tree that you want to put in? Or would you want to protect the tree you want to put in?
You know, from what I've observed, because I've been working over that area for a while, there is a certain amount of water, depending on how heavy the rain is, that does jump the crown of the road and get over to the gazebo side. The state's redone those basins this last time, down by the lilac and monument. It seems to catch when it's a light rain. It seems to stay either in the road long enough to get down there. It's really when you get these heavier rains now that it crosses the road prior.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm guessing if you had the curb raised some, it wouldn't take much to keep it off. But there's no plant material there that I've seen that's really suffering at this point.
I guess my question would be not so much the engineering or how it might be taken care of, but if there's a group that wants to help take care of the center and that's a concern, who takes care of it? Do you bring it to the town and the town says, we'll take care of it? Or does your group decide they want to chip in, or we figure it out as we go?
It would be up to the group at the time, I would assume, to either come to the town and say,
Yeah, do some fundraising,
what can the town do, and we're willing
And
to
what do we do?
pitch in.
partnership or something.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, much like the Millers that were doing it, this group could kind of spearhead that. And, I'm thinking at some point, there's budget restrictions, and the town's been very good about things like Halloween and whatnot, but, at some point,
Yep.
if the money isn't there, it's not there, it's too bad that there wouldn't be another vehicle for keeping those things that the town wants to keep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to keep it, pony up.
What do we think about getting a price on curbing, at least so we know some numbers?
It would help, I think.
I wrote that on the list
Thank you.
to get a price.
Okay. Yeah, because that way at least we'll all know.
Yeah.
You know, what we're looking at.
And Kevin, just out of
Cost.
curiosity, why is, tree lighting going under this and not like recreation committee? Who's got a budget, yes? Or is recreation just for
So
sports?
the recreation committee has a budget, but that, they never budgeted for the tree lighting.
Oh, okay.
They decided to take it on as a, I guess, to get it done, and they were gonna try and do fundraising on their own to get it done.
Okay.
It sounds like Randy is working with Kevin and this group now to try and do that.
So, and that's a good example of, you know, if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget for new lights.
Right.
People are willing to put in the effort and, or pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
At least there's a vehicle there. If
Right.
not, well, go on to the next project.
What about so you talked about a tree that at maturity will be maybe 30 feet tall, let's say.
Yeah,
So what are you seeing for getting the lights up 20 or 30 feet, let's say? How would you do that?
Randy has Brian who's got it figured out how to do
Okay.
this tree.
Okay.
With-
Alone?
Not alone, but I don't know if it's with a man lift or somebody else's bucket. I
Okay.
don't know the
Yeah.
details on that, but
Yeah.
she has that all set.
Okay.
So, as a matter of fact, I think she just sent something about what day it's gonna be lit,
December 6th.
is it? So, yeah, so, you know,
Yeah.
the new tree, I would like to see something under 30 feet.
Yeah, that's, I think we're both thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, the height of the current tree is getting up there.
Yeah.
Where I'm not sure that, I guess Brian in the past has been able to reach the top, but,
It's,
yeah.
Set
The
the
problem in
base
the
up.
past is he can get up there just fine. Concord Electric, Unitil used to send a bucket to the
Right,
other side
right.
because you can't circle the
it's
tree.
wrapping the tree.
Yeah.
So you can't get them back down, that's the other problem. Or
Yeah.
CD
I mean,
trucks there.
you could drape the tree, you know,
Right,
vertically.
right,
It's a
vertically.
lot easier,
Yeah,
but seems people like it.
yes, like the tradition,
Oh, one can only do what one can do.
right.
Yeah, but there are spruces or firs, a baby blue eyes, the Coneys have one up at their place that's mid-maturity and it's probably
Yeah.
15 feet.
Yeah, but I think, speaking only for me, looking ahead, what I would like to see is just a solid plan for getting them up and taking them down,
Right.
so.
And a future tree plan, like where, take a look and say where. But otherwise, I think a tree is great, it's planning ahead,
Absolutely.
people like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like a good, you know, so long as the committee's well aware that they're responsibility to the town, and the town is happy to have the committee, work with the committee,
Yeah.
it sounds like a good deal.
People, somebody mentioned that maybe sponsoring a triathlon, or a group would sponsor a triathlon. Well, you know, if it used the river and then came up through on bikes and ran the course through Shaker Village, I don't know what groups, maybe multiple groups would be involved in that. This would be able to have one central group to bring everyone together and then do those types of things like get the permission from the town, get the insurance
Yeah.
for it, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it really sounds like you're more Friends of Canterbury community than Friends of
Well,
Canterbury
yeah, I
Center,
mean,
but-
we're trying to look for something catchy, and the idea was to keep the center going and vibrant. But yeah, that doesn't mean that there won't be some other project in town in a different location.
Yeah.
And that we clearly put that in our mission statement, that it's community-wide.
Great.
So,
All right, do we need to do anything with respect to the, okay?
if you want, we're bumping up against the, my deadline of getting work done. And so I can do a little more thought into where and meet with you and
Yeah.
see if it's something possible to do this year or
Yeah.
whether it's really a springtime thing.
Kent, are you willing to act as a representative for us? Okay.
I-
Not
I
understood?
tried to express last year, I think it's noble to throw lights on that tree. It's just such a pain. Is there something else we can do that achieves that objective, right? Light the maple trees or light the stems of the maple trees, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just such a big tree to try and handle.
Yeah.
And when one guy doesn't show up, makes the other guy's job really hard. So it wasn't a pleasant experience taking it.
Yeah, and there's been an effort to do other things, the gazebo.
Yeah.
And you could do the crab apples and you could uplight some of the.
But Randy seems confident that she has a deal and Brian's agreed to it because
Yeah.
our big concern was trying to keep Brian happy because he seemed to get the short end of the stick when Unitil didn't show up and he wasn't happy about it, so.
Last
If
I
they
heard,
worked it out
he was the one who worked out how it was gonna work
Okay.
and gave her the okay, and that's when she got the late situation under control.
So long as that is true, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a shorter tree seems like a much more prudent investment in future.
You know, the tree's getting old
Hmm.
on top of it.
Yeah.
And, it would be nice to have a small tree that people could literally decorate if they wanted. Instead of
Right.
hiring it out.
Yeah. Anything further?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Great, thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Kevin.
Thank you
Appreciate
much.
your time.
Sure, thank you.
And I have about 2 minutes to talk about the town hall.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't see our,
Yeah, nobody from the
Yes.
Forest Society, so.
signed
So
on.
the window pillar things are in. Took about 4 hours to put them in. I don't think you're gonna get them back out easily.
Tight fit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had to adjust all those shades, those shutters, the blindy things
Yeah.
in, which I've done, so it won't be that hard next time, but I think the town needs to seriously think, and I've already suggested this to you guys, is to take out 2 or 3 windows a year and send them to a place that they get reconditioned because they're sagging. So you look at the top and there's a half-inch gap or nothing here and they're tight over
Gotcha.
here. And of course, they're loose inside the frames.
Yeah, we certainly all noticed that.
Yeah, and so these are gonna take that problem away. But I think, I don't know what it costs per window, but I bet you it's close to $1,000 to take them out, clean them, paint them.
We got 13.
13 of them times 6, 12,
Yeah.
times 12, so.
Yeah.
Not a lot of pains.
Yep.
They're filthy, dirty, I didn't do any washing, I did take a brush to them,
Yeah.
pink and all, I don't know what's in it, I just brushed them off. So, John Gogol stopped and helped me, so we got them in about 4 hours.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Um,
I just think it needs to be a yearly budget thing for a few years to
right.
try and catch up with that.
Yeah. When's our next budget committee meeting?
7th of January.
Any thoughts on who might,
I don't know, some guy like Calvin or somebody that's a woodworker could, I think oversee this. I'm guessing, I mean, you and I tried to open up a couple of them when the selectmen were in there. It was a real pain. I drove a flat bar in there to get them to move.
really?
So they've been painted in and all that.
So we have to worry about lead paint, yes?
Oh, that,
I'm guessing lead is.
oh, yeah.
So we're gonna need somebody who's gonna give us an estimate and give us a good price and figure out the lead,
Yeah,
remediation
mitigation
and-
or abatement or
if
whatever.
we can get prices, a good price, we can, I don't know, if somebody like, Calvin can deal with lead? Or do you have to have a special contractor
I
that
think you
deals
have
with
to be
License have
licensed.
to be licensed.
license?
Depends on, some contractors are, some aren't.
Yeah.
Deerfield just did their whole, they were fundraising to do a big project on their historic town hall, to do the windows and to fluff it up, so, and I can ask who they used to find out. That was the lady from the farmer's market, was talking to us about it a lot. But the historical society over there was working on their town hall. Maybe they have somebody who's.
Yeah.
And you had somebody that you mentioned about.
Warren Warren's the guy that will steam them out, clean them up, paint them and all that. So.
In place or?
No.
Okay, so remove them.
These have to go into, he's got a special box that steams them.
Gotcha.
Right, because you're trying to save that glass, that's gonna be
Right.
the other.
Right.
We could ask Kevin.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna wanna see that weighty glass go back in.
Right. As do I. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it is part of our history, so.
And there are, I don't know how many, I didn't count, but there's a number of broken windows too, so
So who's the guy in Warner, what's his name? And can we contact him?
probably. I don't know his name.
Can you find it? And
Yes, I probably don't.
how about you find his name and then we can move on and contact him and get a price and see if he does lead and do the windows and figure it out in the budget. And I'll ask Deerfield and we'll get some prices.
Okay.
All right. Or prices.
All right. I think, not seeing any sign of the Forest Society. What have we got left? Can, tax rate setting?
Well, do you wanna just talk about the forest, that's over?
Yep,
Might as well.
Yeah.
We can, I
Yeah.
can let them know that you talked about it.
Yep.
They were just gonna sign on in case you had any questions. I think I sent you the emails with all the
You did.
pictures and the information. So basically, there's a culvert down at the end of Old Still Road, which is a class 6 road, just before the town line, that is washed out, it's a concrete culvert. They would like to remove it. Their property is on both sides of that, and they would like to remove it because it's just causing more erosion and everything.
Yeah.
And they'd like to restore it back to a regular stream bed. I talked with John, he doesn't have a problem with it, conservation and fire department. They don't have a problem with it. One thing that John suggested, and with the fire department also, was if they could slope it and put a hard bottom in case there is a need to travel across it at some point in the future with the fire department's UTV or a brush truck or something like that, they can. The fire chief did talk to the chief in Northfield, and there is access from the Northfield end. There's access to the river from the boat ramp by the county farm in Boscawen, which is right across the river from that where this culvert is.
Yeah.
So, it's not gonna cause a problem by taking that out of there, create an access problem for the town or emergency services.
This is going in by the corner of,
Right at the
Interbay
sharp
and-
corner by Mahoney's.
Can you get through that road? 'Cause last
Yes.
time I was on it, it was.
Yeah, it's tight, it's in rough shape, but it's, we haven't done
I think you
anything.
can't drive down through. The whippets have all grown up.
Oh, well, yeah.
The people in Mahoney's house, a golf cart can get down, he keeps that much of a trail open on it.
And I did speak to Ms. Corwin, who owns that house on the corner there, and she's in favor of taking it out too, she doesn't have a problem with it.
Is it all, it must be down in there ways.
It's right before the town line. Right before the town line. This map shows, the stuff I sent you on the email showed it, and so the town line is here, and it shows it right here. It's a real sharp bend in the road, and that's where the brook crosses right there. So,
I don't have any problem with it at all.
Yeah, sounds reasonable to me too. so,
okay. All right.
All the people concerned seem to be okay with it, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right,
And now we're on tax rate setting.
Yep.
So, you signed the MS1 last week.
Yep.
DRA will be sending us back, information on the tax rate, and they will be asking if you want to use any of the unreserved fund balance to offset taxes. There's a, chart in your paperwork
Yep.
that shows, very similar to what we believe the numbers are going to be. So, if you look at what we believe with no contribution, the tax rate will be 25.28. And these are within a few cents of what our estimates are, but I think we're in pretty good shape as far as our estimate.
Yep.
If you move over to the next column, we have the amount taken from the fund balance is $162,841. It lowers the tax rate to 24.59, and so on and so forth all the way across.
Yeah.
And it shows at the bottom of that, the amount retained in the fund balance. So if you were to take $200,000 out of the fund balance, we drop the tax rate to 24.49, And we'd still have 1.574 million from the
Yeah.
fund balance.
What is a comfortable amount to have in that balance? I
Um,
mean, I'm sure you'll always want as much as possible, but
yeah,
What's
well,
realistic?
we have been carrying, I guess we go as low as just above 1 million to what we are now, 1.7. The thing to remember, the $257,000, the ARPA money is going to come out of that unreserved fund balance.
Yeah.
Because that's where that money was put in the general fund, so that's part of that. There are no other large expenditures in the near future coming out of that.
so this money that says amount retained in the fund balance after we take, say, $200,000 out, is actually another 200 will be, once we pay out the ARPA money, another $250,000 less as well?
Correct, the 200,000 is today. That the 1.774 is today.
Right.
That's before any money comes
Yes.
out.
Correct.
If we took $200,000 out to drop the tax rate
Right.
in next July, we'd still need to take another $257,000 out to pay for the dirt.
So 457,000 or whatever total we would take out.
Well, and between now and then, we're gonna be collecting tax money.
Yeah.
And, that number's gonna change. That
So-
number fluctuates, it goes down.
Right.
It tops out when we collect all of our taxes.
Yeah.
As the sheet that Sam showed earlier shows that there are only $68,000 in overdue taxes right now.
That's
So
crazy.
we're looking really good.
Yeah.
We're also looking good financially because, again, we have 1.774 in our reserve fund balance right now. And our, capital reserves are looking good, and we don't have, and our bonds are looking good to be paid off in the next couple of years. So our financial situation looks real good. The only bond we're looking at in the next year is the fire truck bond for $400,000. So, and that'll be in 25, potentially 26, depending on when it's gonna be delivered.
So this, this chart here will show if we take out, say, again, $200,000, it'll bring the tax rate down to
2449.
2449 for the,
Total tax rate,
for December of this year.
correct,
Okay. So that will help the,
correct.
which I'm sure everybody would appreciate.
And you can see even lower that, and Cal is the one that put this together. Yeah, you can look at the tax bills for properties,
Yeah.
what they would look like.
Right.
So that's a 23.
Does DRA weigh in on a suggested amount for our,
They do,
okay,
they do. And $200,000 we fall well within their suggested ranges.
okay.
And 500,000 is pushing it or still?
I would have to look,
The max retained column and the min retained column.
Yep.
The 17% and the 5%, those are from the DRA, what they require, what they recommend, I guess, for minimum and maximum of retention.
Oh, okay.
So everything in the middle, the 200K, the 500K, the 800K are within
Within the,
their
Within their-
recommendation.
okay, so there's max and min, got it.
Last year, when we did this, they recommended 17.2 something %, so, that's what select board decided last year, so.
Yeah.
It was actually slightly above the max retained for 2023. But just that's, and they give us all of these numbers, or most of these numbers, when they give us the proposed tax rate.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to get this to you now so you can make a decision tonight. So that way, if we get the email tomorrow saying that we're ready,
Yeah.
then it's just an administrative thing and Sam can get the bills out right away.
Right.
It makes sense to me.
So last year, what did we take from the, unreserved?
It was 87,000 something, it was very low.
The one thing, that kind of goes along with this is and we included the P and L.
Yeah.
We're looking really good with this year's budget.
Right, because.
So-
Yeah,
We have money to spend at this point.
Yeah.
And I know that when we talked with the budget committee, that was one of the conversations that came up, was the potential for helping the tax bills
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
unspent operating account that we have.
Yeah, if we can do it, I'm sure people would appreciate it, and it kind of feels like that's what the money's there for, to help, as best we can.
We have been very fortunate that, we haven't had to take out a tax anticipation notice in, I think it's been almost 15 years.
Hmm.
So our unreserved fund balance has, we have very good financial standing at this point.
yeah. So Ken, if we did the 500K,
Mm.
even with the ARPA funds coming out of that, we would still be right around $1 million, am I correct?
Yep.
Which would put us within the recommended range for DRA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah,
For the 500,000?
that's what I'm thinking, and I think
Yeah,
Kent is in agreement.
If we can do it and still be in, I mean, that's right in the middle of the range, for max retained and min retained.
Correct. And even with the ARPA money coming out, we'll still be okay. But-
Safely okay, not
Yeah,
just okay.
Exactly. Agreed.
Yeah,
And I think that, this is gonna be a tough year tax bill wise for our residents.
well, on a, $400? Looking at the tax bill for a $300,000 property.
We don't have too many $300,000 properties.
No.
Yeah, I would
But those are the people that need the help the most.
look at the 400, at least
Yeah.
the 400 to get a real number.
So that's more like, not quite $1,000,
Yeah,
which is nothing to sneeze at.
agreed. Yeah.
Well, if we have assurance that we can do it safely, if the ARPA money comes out and we're right where we need to be in the unanticipated funds, and we're right in the middle of this lovely chart, and it may not be huge, but it's, again, a good amount and at least a good faith effort of helping the town, I'd say, yeah.
I agree as well.
Okay.
All right, 500,000 it is?
Do we need a motion?
You will need a motion.
Okay, so I will make a motion that we take 500,000 from our fund balance. Need to say anything more?
Unreserved funds balance.
To apply to lower the tax rate.
Okay, to apply to lower the tax rate, so I'll make a motion that we apply 500,000 to lower the tax rate.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye. The 2024 tax rate, yes.
Correct.
Please let the minutes show. So I don't have to come back next week and.
Yeah.
2024, yep.
All right. All right, so that's that.
Should, notice of this go in the same article that we're putting in the tax
Good.
I mean, it seems like
It'd be nice to notify our residents that the selectmen are helping as
Yeah.
best they can.
I would say, yeah, and because that's the December newsletter and that's when the December tax bill's gonna come out.
Right.
So might I impose upon you to draft such a statement and send it to me, or I'll just say that we approved at tonight's meeting?
Yeah, you have my submission.
Yeah,
Do you wanna just add a paragraph that
Yes.
says that?
yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
please do.
So I will, okay. So, at the, 11/18 select board meeting, it was approved to apply $500,000 from the unreserved fund to help with the
Tax rate
for
2024.
2024.
Yes.
And just, that's simple, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Note, exclamation point.
Is it safe to announce the tax rate then of 2370?
No.
Okay.
These are estimates.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
These are within probably pennies of what it will be, but no, we won't know until DRA actually
Very
says it.
good, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's okay to say 500,000
Correct. Yes.
for the
Yep.
unreserved tax fund, is that what it's called?
Unreserved fund balance.
Fund balance. For tax rate.
You good?
Yep, do you want that in the town email too? Do you have something that's going out?
I'll
Yeah.
talk to Cal and
Okay.
we'll take care of that.
Okay. Yay.
All right, I think the last item is those code enforcement letters.
No, we have the Shaker Village pilot.
Oh, thank you. All right,
So I included, we sent the pilot that we got from Shaker Village to our attorney. And he got back to us with some edits. I have the original one here. I think just looking at this, basically he added language, on the, I guess it'd be the page 3. In the middle that says that they would agree to the following, that they're going to fill out the forms, the BTLA forms,
Yeah.
by certain dates. And then there's language here that would void this agreement if they either A, didn't fill out the forms
Right.
on time and to the, I guess, the extent of the law.
Satisfaction of the.
Satisfaction of the assessor.
Yeah.
I guess. And this would be, an agreement that does not have to be renewed, but it would be reviewed every spring by the assessor when the forms are filled out to determine whether the forms were done correctly.
Yeah.
There's no dates on here, it's just, we didn't fill any dates in. You can see on the front, the very top, there's no date there, it's just November with a blank. And then, on the back, there's no dates either. So I wanted to let you guys see this. There's no need to rush into this.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna be until April, and you can see that the payment isn't until July.
Yep.
So, if you wanna take this and then come back at the next meeting, and we can, or, you know, if you have any questions about it, you can email me individually.
Yep.
We can talk about it at the next meeting, and then we can put some dates on it, and I'll send it to Shaker Village.
My only question would be, at first, I was very glad to see that, what happens if they, what constitutes default. But, at what point, if any, is that amount, the annual payment, renegotiated? Or will it always be,
This can be renegotiated at any time.
okay,
This is, there's no end date on this, there's only a beginning date. So I would think that, you could renegotiate this. And it does say that if the property changes,
Yeah.
where they become either non-taxable, or if they change it to any of the properties up there change status,
Right,
that they're supposed to notify the town. And that could affect this agreement.
and that'll become clear when they fill out the A9s.
Correct.
Okay, so at that time.
Well, they could notify us ahead of time.
Yeah.
If they decided that they're gonna rent one of their buildings out to a for-profit company.
Yeah.
And then they notify the town, then we would re-examine their tax bill for that
Okay,
one building. And then we would renegotiate the pilot.
okay, and that language is clear. This-
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, but,
Yeah.
okay, good. Yeah, and that makes me feel much more comfortable about it.
Yeah, and I think that's a good plan. We'll review this and
All right, so I'll put this on the agenda for the next
Yeah.
meeting,
sounds good.
and we'll put some dates in it. Like I say, if you take some time to look at it, if you have any questions or whatever, email me individually, and
Alright.
Yeah.
we'll try and answer those, and then we'll bring it all back at the next meeting, and
Yeah.
if there's any edits, we can do it then, and try to get it off the sheet.
Okay, good.
I think we've covered the dirt road upgrade agreement, transfer station waste oil update.
Yeah, I put in here the solar grant update, I think I sent that to you.
Yep,
Yeah.
you
Just
just,
for the minutes,
yeah,
that, grant was, denied by the state.
right.
EECBG grant.
Yeah.
And that was for both the municipal building and the library.
Too bad.
I do have one more, thing. We talked a little bit about, healthcare. We're all set with the new healthcare plan. There's gonna be an educational session on Thursday morning. And then on the 5th of December, we're gonna do, signups.
Yeah.
And on the 6th is the deadline for everybody to sign up, so.
And did you hear back from anybody that had any problems with coverage? I mean, there,
We did not, we're doing an education session on Thursday morning, and, if there's any other concerns, hopefully they'll bring them forward then, so.
kind of like not having your PCP be in the system or something.
Yeah, nobody sent anything back saying that they didn't find their PCP on there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. All right,
all right, and then the last is there's a couple of code enforcement letters
Yeah.
here. I asked you to sign, and this is for 418 Shaker Road. Both some zoning violation, one's a zoning violation for accessory dwelling units, and one is a zoning violation for a failed septic system. Those are just letters to the owners notifying that the town is aware, and they need to take steps to work with the ZBA and on the zoning violation for the ADUs, and hire a contractor to take care of the failed septic.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
thank you. Good. Yep. Anything further?
Just my little handouts, which you don't even have to fill anything with,
Okay,
if you don't want.
all right.
Just read. This is to go in with all the tax stuff that is currently, this is gonna be a full issue of,
Oh, gotcha, okay.
so this,
The newsletter.
I think I emailed that.
Yep.
I went over this with Mandy to get a layman's explanation of how our tax bill works. Because when we had the joint meeting with the town and the school board, there were several people who had questions about that and didn't understand how it worked, and probably a lot of people do. So this is a basic ABC, how our tax bill works and why the two bills are different, and why we just can't have one bill and split it in half and do the same in June as in December.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we need to say, if we want to include something like this with our tax bills when they go out, when Sam sends them out. I don't know if that costs more to put another sheet in there. And if we want to actually put a thing on the bottom of here that says,
that we just voted tonight to take the money out of the unreserved tax fund and just a little note, like, hi, in your tax bill, that this is what we did. Any thoughts on including this? Or just putting it in the newsletter and on the town email and posting it?
I guess other than,
Tax bill, or just,
Just post it, person,
yeah,
just more paper.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it would increase the cost, we have to print them, copies,
Print them,
and mail.
I don't know, we'd have to run it through the mail scale to see if it was gonna increase.
I
I don't
you know, if we could
know
just post it everywhere. Would you add the vote that we took
You
tonight?
could, yeah.
It seems like a good idea to have it all in the same place.
Yeah.
That's, so.
Excuse me.
We were just leaving our meeting and I found this on the ground, common ground, $126 donation jar.
What?
Just an envelope that was sitting out in front of the library and
Who's it made out to?
it just says common ground. So I will leave it with you folks. I figure maybe it was, somebody
You, Ray.
must have come in here and dropped it, but
Yeah, that's definitely cash.
That'll help with tax rates.
Yeah.
there you go. Take it off mine.
All right, anything else?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn? Yeah. Second? All those in favor?
Aye.